is Jordan Rutter-Covatto. I'm a professional countertenor. I'm also the founder and artistic director of Codex, which is an artist collective based in Manhattan. The simplest way to describe a countertenor is to say, in opera, it's a man who sings in a woman's range. When I was in college, I studied as a baritone basically up until my last year. My teacher at the time recommended that I not plan to sing opera as a career. But then when we were doing certain warm-ups, he started to hear something and asked me if I had ever considered singing as a countertenor. It was difficult for me because it required me to give up a lot of my own hang-ups about my masculinity. But in exchange, I was suddenly in a place where the voice was really commercially viable. And I ended up in New York at Manhattan School of Music for grad school, and I've been working ever since. So I'm a professional opera singer, and I'm also the founder of Codex, which is a group of artists who do projects around the city. So this show is called Polymath. The whole idea of the project was to deconstruct the form of a recital. I want to reclaim queer narratives. So we're doing classical music and horror. These are two genres that have huge queer followings. We're featuring several different kinds of artists. I wrote some songs that are being performed by the soprano Sydney Anderson, who I've worked with before on some other projects. My friend Joe Rubinstein wrote some new songs for me, which are settings of contemporary American poets.
This is a pretty personal collaboration between me and Jordan. We talked a lot about this piece and what we wanted, and we tried to find a subject that both of us cared about. Places where this world overlaps with the next world.
There will also be a live reading of a horror story by Andres Salas, read by Salmache. We have Myla Henry on the piano, who's sort of like a new music guru. There will also be a photography exhibit by the New York-based photographer GDM. He did some portraits of me that we'll have on display in the space.
Polymath is also meant to be a really social experience.
Oh, that looks great.
I'm Vincent Rutter-Covatto. Jordan, my husband, brings the artistic vision. I am helping to bring that vision to life.
Should we put the bug bases on here?
We're in a very intimate space.
I think that's fine.
We want this to be social and fun and thought-provoking and emotional. I want it to do all of the things that make me love art. I want to give that experience to each one of our audience members.
Is there anywhere you'd like to visit? Sure.
It's more of a feeling that you're coming to hang out and there's a show versus just going to a theater where you're gonna just sit down and be quiet.
My hope for the audience for this performance is that it's a moving performance. The operatic voice and singing can be so moving and can really draw us into worlds that we didn't know we could inhabit.
The more that we do these shows, the more I realize that I'm reaching an audience who is not having their needs met.
Father Crispin lay there with a terrible gash in his throat. One by one, Eduardo saw the faces of the dead. Father Crispin, Father Pat, Father Malagreca.
When you take any medium, create it in a way that is welcoming and engaging, the interest is there.